Chapter 2. Helena. A few hours south of the capital, Helena found a farmstead with several decent-looking horses. She verified that the family was asleep, then switched her bags and tack to one of the farmer's horses. With any luck, the farmer's inquiries about the new horse wouldn't reach the capital for several days, assuming he didn't accept the trade. By then, she should be far enough west that her trail would be difficult to find, especially if Papa expected her to continue south to Dara again. Keeping to little-used roads marked on her map, she slept in haystacks and munched on dry goods she'd pilfered from the castle kitchen. By the time she reached Amitié, her food had run out. She eagerly stopped at the first inn she passed. The little bell above the door rang a cheerful greeting as she stepped through. On the other side was a small room with worn furnishings, but it appeared clean.
"Good afternoon, good afternoon,"
a reedy voice said, accompanied by the soft thump of a swinging door.
"Welcome to the Xi'an Inn. What can I get for you? Supper? A room for the night?"
Helena turned to watch the short man bustle up to her. She'd planned to ride longer, but the thought of relaxing her fast-paced trip was tempting.
"Just a meal, for now."
His eyes widened in shock.
"A young woman alone in these parts? Aren't you afraid of the bandit?"
"Should I be?" she asked, raising an eyebrow at him. He leaned closer.
"I haven't heard tale of him hunting this far east, but we all dread the day he does. Mostly keeps to the mountains, though. Are you new here, miss?"
"Margit." Papa's men wouldn't be asking after her middle name. The innkeeper shook his head and glanced out the window.
"Best to head for the valleys as soon as possible, Miss Margit. And if you must travel in the mountains, hire some guards first."
Heat flared in Helena's chest at the suggestion. "I don't need protection," she growled. Why did men think she was helpless simply because she was a woman? She rested a hand on her hip quiver. She wasn't helpless, and if that bandit gave her trouble, she'd prove it. If she ever found him. Ducking her head, Helena tried to look like a weary traveler as she passed through the small mountain village of Arles. She had ignored the innkeeper's advice and followed the mountain roads, expecting the Amitian bandit to show up as predicted. But she'd traveled to the far end of the kingdom and halfway back again without incident. After the village, the road narrowed, clinging to the mountainside with a gentle slope on the low side. Trees crowded her, their mostly barren branches stretching overhead in pitiful shade. A sheer cliff face rose up on her right, while the left side transitioned to a sharp drop-off. As she followed the curve around it, she heard an unusual bird call. Helena cocked her head, wondering if the bird was a native of Amitié.
"Halt!"
Her face snapped back to the front as a man, clad in greens and browns, leaped onto the road in front of her. His drawn bow was pointed at her, the arrow's barb glittering menacingly in the sunlight. "You don't look like one of the king's men," Helena replied calmly, admiring his tall frame and fine archer's stance. A scarfy brown beard was all she could see beneath his hood, though. What did the rest of him look like?
"The general is sending women now."
A hint of surprise and disgust colored his voice. "Do you mean General Valentin?" Helena let a bit of amusement tinge her own voice. What in the heavens did he think Amitié's regent had to do with her? "Never mind that. Are you the bandit I've heard so much about?" He was silent for a moment.
"What if I am?"
he gruffly replied. Smiling, she reached up and lowered her hood, hoping he would do likewise. "Then I would be relieved. I've been wandering the roads of your kingdom for weeks, looking for you." And so far, he didn't seem like the unsavory character one might expect. That possibility had worried her a tiny bit, secretly.
"I want to join your band of thieves." "We're not thieves," he snorted.
Helena raised a skeptical eyebrow.
"And I don't accept volunteers unless I know them. Now, if you'll toss me your satchel and saddlebags, I'll let you be on your way."
"On my way?" Her brows lowered as her lips pushed forward in a pout.
"Oh, no. I ran away to throw in my lot with the famous Amitian bandit. I have no intention of going home." "What are you, 12?" he scoffed. Gesturing with the arrow, he said, "Give me your bags, or climb down and let me grab them myself."
Helena ground her teeth, pulling her shoulders back as everything in her stiffened at the comment. "I am not a child," she hissed through gritted teeth. Even if she still felt like a teenager, how dare he insult her like that?
"Running away from home to join a bandit? Sounds very grown up," he deadpanned. "Tell the general to provide you with a better cover story next time. Now, bags."
"Dismiss me, will you?" she grumbled under her breath. Placing her hands on the saddle, she swung her leg back as if to dismount. She wasn't a princess out here. That arrogant outlaw would learn not to underestimate a woman. As soon as his bow dipped, she whipped hers out, knocked an arrow, and sent it flying toward him. "Let's see what he's hiding under that hood." Her arrow caught the edge of it, just as she'd intended. He spun, pulling the hood back over his face before she could catch any identifying features. "Why so desperate to hide your face?" Helena taunted, smirking at his reaction. "Are you—" She broke off with a cry when a red-hot pain seared through her left shoulder, knocking her back. "You shot me!" she gasped out, staring disbelievingly at the bow that was already focused on her again. You actually shot me!" She'd only wanted to see his face and to prove her prowess. Helena bent over her horse's neck, clutching her shoulder. The bandit was now conferring with a much shorter friend, but they spoke too quietly for her to hear. "I should have known you wouldn't be better than the rest of them," she grumbled. And truly, what had she been thinking? An outlaw wasn't a beacon of virtue. The taller one secured his bow and stepped toward her. Helena grimaced at him, trying to look threatening. But she had dropped her bow, and she didn't have the strength to draw anyway, or stab him with an arrow. "Don't step on my bow," she snarled. He stopped and glanced at his feet. Moving warily, he bent down, picked up her bow, and stuffed it into the sheath on his back. "Unclasp your quiver and drop it, and I'll lift you down. Try anything, and my friend will shoot you." She glared back. Her horse danced to the side, but she couldn't unclamp her right hand from her shoulder to grab the reins. "No, thank you. I'll wait for the next traveler." "You'll pass out before then," her attacker replied dismissively. "You can fall off your horse, or you can accept my help and spare yourself the knock to the head. Your choice." Not if she could help it. Shifting her weight in the saddle, Helena signaled the horse to back up. She could still steer with her knees. Unfortunately, the outlaw lunged forward and caught the bridle, halting them. "If you're difficult, I can always snap your bow in two." It was an old bow. The huntsman at Reinigberg who taught her to shoot had given it to her before her curse struck. But her brother had paid for it, and the huntsman had chosen the best bow in Ralnor for her. To Helena, it was priceless. "Fine," she ground out. Dropping her right hand from her shoulder, she undid the buckle on her quiver belt. But when the outlaw reached for her, she jerked away. "Don't touch me!" His exhale was heavy enough to reach her ears. "And how do you expect me to help you down without touching you?" "I'll get myself down." Setting her right hand on the saddle, she leaned forward, balancing as she slowly lifted her leg over the horse's back. Even though it was her good arm, the movement jostled her injured shoulder, sending another flare of pain through it. She squeezed her eyes shut, refusing to let him hear how it hurt, but black spots danced in her vision. Her knee gave out. She braced herself for the hard ground, but a pair of strong arms around her waist halted her descent. Her left shoulder rammed into his chest, though. She couldn't stop the wail this time. "Let go of me! What are you doing?" she protested as he pinned her to his chest and began running his free hand along her sides. "You scoundrel!" He grunted when her elbow found his stomach, but he didn't let go. "Checking you for weapons? I don't fancy a blade in my ribs." Helena struggled against his hold, but she could feel herself weakening. Every movement hurt her shoulder, and the pain clouded most of her vision now. Then, as if patting her down wasn't humiliating enough, he put an arm behind her knees and scooped her up, cradling her against his chest like a child or a useless damsel.
"Put me down! I can walk."
Her protest was feeble, but she had to try. She'd never intended to be in his power, helpless before him. But she couldn't stop it. The overwhelming pain won out, and Helena slipped away into the blackness.